but there's always a level where all of us are fearful. So how do we overcome that? Practice, absolutely, organizing your thoughts. The third thing I would add to what you said, Claire, is doing what most people aren't willing to do in medical sales, so you get the results that no one else in medical sales gets.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of today's Medical Sales Leaders, where today I am speaking with somebody who is near and dear to my heart because the first time I heard him teach me about public speaking, I pulled my car over to not miss a single word. So today I have Brenden Kumarasamy with me here on the podcast. It is so good to see you, Brenden. Thanks for all you do. How are you doing today? What's going on up there in Montreal?
Life is beautiful, Claire. Thanks for having me as well. It's always great to see you. Yeah, weather's good. We're finally enjoying the summer for once, so life is great. How about you? How is Spokane, Washington?
You know, you're going to have to remind me what summer's like because we just had a 60-degree 4th of July yesterday, and it's a far cry from me growing up in Northern California days, but it's good. It's good. If you love to do any kind of outdoor activity, this is the place. Are you into like hiking, biking, trail running, spelunking, anything like that?
Hiking sometimes.
Okay.
But not the other things, though.
Okay. Well, this place is full of all that. There's a ton of trails, which is great. But, yeah, you just have to wait for the right weather to do that kind of thing. What do you do up for fun in Montreal?
I wish I had things interesting to say. I would say most of my time is like spent listening to podcasts. Sometimes I go clubbing with my family. That's super fun.
Oh, fun.
That's like a fun side thing that we do. But most of my pastime is yelling at friends over dinner on super heated topics. So we just go to a restaurant and yell it out. That's super fun too.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You just pick a nice classy place, white tablecloth, real chill vibe, and start a shouting match about something really exciting.
Yeah, let's remove the word classy. Maybe it's more like a $10 like chicken place, but sure.
Well, that's what I love about you, Brenden, is you are, if anything, you are authentic, and I know that you are an incredible conversationalist among all kinds of different speaking styles. So would you mind introducing yourself for us today and telling everybody who you are and what you're doing today?
Absolutely, Claire. So my name is Brenden Kumarasamy. I'm the founder of MasterTalk. MasterTalk is both a media and a coaching business. It's a YouTube channel I started to help the world master the art of communication and public speaking. And I also have a coaching practice where I train ambitious entrepreneurs and executives to be the top communicators in their industry. And
you're still doing free masterclasses on there, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, man. I attended one of them. It was phenomenal. And the reason we're talking today is because I work with medical sales folks, and while I must say that they are some of the most gifted communicators when it comes to translating, resources and products for physicians, when it comes to public speaking, they're just like us, as the Us Today says, right? And so the reason I'm chatting with you today is because I'm wondering if you can help unlock for us why it is so tricky for people who are used to communicating every day for work to get up on that stage and to do it with confidence. So first, is this something that you see commonly?
Absolutely, Claire. So the way that I think about this is, let's start with this. Where does the fear of communication come from, specifically public speaking? And, when I first got that question, I used to answer something like San Diego, because I was like, who knows? It could be San Diego, LA. But I thought about it a bit more, and I found probably an answer that's more suited for the people listening. It all starts in the education system. Where do we learn how to give presentations? High school, elementary school. Even if high school is probably like 20 years ago for some of us, that's where the habits start. But the problem, Claire, is all of those presentations have three things in common. The first problem is that all of them are mandatory. We don't wake up one morning and say, hey, Claire, do you want to get breakfast and present all day? Nobody really says that. So that's number one. Second problem, every presentation you've given you don't really get to pick the topic, and it's always different. So it's never clear. What are you passionate about? Do you like podcasting? Do you like resumes? Do you like traction? No, it's you got to talk about the Renaissance. You got to deal with it. So you're like, okay, Shakespeare. Guess we'll figure this out. And then problem number 3, which is the most important one, is every presentation is tied to a punishment. So if you don't do a great job in school, nobody pats you on the back and says, don't worry, Brenden and Claire, you'll get it right the next time. No, they go, yeah, by the way, your dreams are just over. Just forget it. Your grade is like 30% of it's gone. Your life is over. You might as well just quit school now. So that's the environment that we're playing in.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So what's the summary? The summary is we grow up thinking like communication is a chore and nobody wants to get better at doing the dishes.
That makes so much sense, because it's not like we grow up and we're afraid to speak. I mean, at least if my kids are any example, they're ready to talk my ear off, and they were at 1 year old, right? But I guess when you put it that way, there's a lot on the line for people, because it's a sink or swim. And then when they sink, as we all do when we're learning, it becomes a huge kick to the pride, right? And do you feel like that's where the fear stems from? Is that kind of rejection we feel when we're on stage and we bomb, which is so likely when you're new? Is it that?
Absolutely. And to build on what you said, Claire, which I completely agree with, it's the memories we hold as a kid when doing that activity. So let me give you an example that's more common. Let's say we think of sports, right? So in the context of sports, let's say a little boy, let's say 10 years old, plays basketball. No one's hitting you with a basketball if you miss the shot when you're playing outside with your friends. You're kind of just throwing it, you're having fun. And then as you get older, those are the memories that stay with you as you get, as you're 30, you're 40, and you're playing these basketball games and you're watching the games. And when you think about your childhood, only great things come. Oh, I remember I used to play basketball. But imagine a different scenario, Claire. What if that same boy, when he was playing basketball, I hit him with the basketball every time he missed the shot? Would he grow up liking basketball?
Probably not.
Right? He'd probably be like, shit, stop. I got to stop playing basketball. But we're doing that with our children with communication, right? Whenever they miss the shot, they get punished for it. So as they get older, whenever they're on a stage, whenever they're speaking, they only have negative emotions, negative memories around communication. And that helps them learn the wrong lesson, which is that communication is a chore, because it isn't. Communication is a way to share impact. It's a way to share ideas. It's a way to help other people. And when we're able to reframe our minds with this question, how would your life change if you were an exceptional communicator? Then you go, I never really thought about that. And then you start thinking about the positives of communication and see it as a tool for impact.
Oh, wow. I love that. Okay, so say in a perfect world, you are encouraged as a young person to be a great speaker, and you're rewarded when you try, right? So we erase a little bit of the fear and the discipline mentality when it comes to early public speaking. So what would you say to somebody who says, okay, I've got the gumption, I feel confident, I'm going to try to be a great public speaker? Where do they start?
Absolutely. And it always goes back to this principle, then I'll show you my easy threes, Claire, is the idea that if you communicate 20% better than your competition, you will stand out 100% of the time. So what does that mean? That means everything that we're going to share today is actually not that hard. It helps you build a little bit more confidence over and over, and it's those wins that stack up over time that create that confidence on how you communicate an idea. So let's go through those 3 things. The first one is called the random word exercise. So it's super simple. Pick a random word. I know you know this exercise, right? Your phone, tablet, yolk. Pick a bunch of random words and create random presentations out of thin air. So now the question is, for medical salespeople listening to this, why should you care? Because you're probably thinking, oh my God, I'm in President's Club. I don't care about this. Why should this matter? The reason is simple. If you could make sense out of nonsense, Claire, you could make sense out of anything. And that's really the magic of the random word exercise, is it allows you to do the harder thing. So whenever you have to give a presentation with colleagues in the medical sales profession and you practiced avocados yesterday, you could talk about medical sales. That's what you live. That's what you breathe. That's what you are. But if you talk about tissue boxes and you have a good time doing it, everything else in your life, in your career, in your presentations will become a joke.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right. Well, and it's so interesting because when you do start from that base level and you say, okay, if I can speak about this coffee mug for a minute, and for anybody listening, that's in medical sales and started at another sales organization, likely you've been asked to do this exercise in an interview. So a lot of times it'll be, okay, tell me about what kind of pizza you are, right? Or if you were a style of Italian dinner, what would it be and why? Which always made me scratch my head, and I don't know why they're always associated with food. But once you start being able to talk about normal everyday things, is it because you're comfortable with organizing your thoughts, or is it because you're just practicing?
I would say it's both, Claire, in the sense that when we think about the fear of communication, right, how do you get rid of that? Well, the quick answer is you don't, because the fear is always going to stay there. Like for me, if Elon Musk called me while we're having, let's say, dinner in Spokane, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing
You are. So we're fighting at a restaurant.
Right? Right, what's that? No, me and you, we're probably not fighting. We're probably eating buttery crabs or something. Right? And we're probably fighting over who gets the last crab or something. But that's the only thing we're fighting about. And let's say Elon Musk calls me. He goes, Brenden, I really like your YouTube videos. Do you want to coach me? Come out tomorrow. I'll pay you whatever you want. Would I be scared of that? Yeah, I would. Even if I'm the expert on the call and I coach people and I have success with it. But there's always a level where all of us are fearful. So how do we overcome that? Practice, absolutely, organizing your thoughts. The third thing I would add to what you said, Claire, is doing what most people aren't willing to do in medical sales, so you get the results that no one else in medical sales gets. So let's use the random word exercise. Okay, you said it's very common in your industry, so let's play this out a little bit. What percentage of people in medical sales, it's kind of like a rhetorical question, would do the random word exercise 10 times? Probably 50%, let's say. What about 100 times? Maybe like 5%, 7%. What about 200 times? Now we're really starting to say 1%, less than 1%, maybe one person. But here's the thing, Claire. It only takes 200 minutes to do the exercise 200 times. So what's the punchline? The punchline is, I'm not asking for 200 minutes out of your day, because that's over 3 hours of your life. It's a lot of time. I'm not asking for 200 minutes out of your week, or even your month, or even your year. Can you give me 200 minutes out of your life? Yeah. Because if you do that, you'll have an internal confidence, an internal knowing that when you go into any meeting, any presentation, you'll look at everyone in the room and you'll think to yourself, I've done the random word exercise more than all of these medical salespeople combined. There is no way I'm going to mess up that presentation. And that's the mindset that I force my clients to take on. If you do more than everyone else, you'll get the results that nobody else is getting.
Oh, fantastic.